Hey guys, it's Tim from Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and we're here with another Pro Wrestling Unlimited podcast. Got Nick with us. What's going on, Nick?
What is going on? I just noticed that the notification did get sent out.
Whoop,
Looks
whoop.
like it's on our side today. But another thing, you didn't do the intro. You didn't play the music today.
We were already late. I didn't have time to open it up.
That's true. And so what's going on, guys? Nick here. And of course, Tim's always here. But we do have another special guest with us. Now, you may have seen some Fightful videos go up on the channel lately. And you guys may be thinking, who the hell is that? Because that's not Tim, and that's not Nick's beautiful voice. And we have him here. Sean, why don't you introduce yourself?
What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful.com. Really happy to be working with you guys. It's funny. We had reached out to each other at about the same time.
Yeah, I think it was a night I had DM'd you, and I was like, hey, man, my name's Nick from Pro Wrestling Unlimited. I'd love to work with you. The reply, I think it was like 1 o'clock my time as well, was like, yeah, we've been meaning to contact you guys, so this is awesome. This is convenient.
Yeah, for the website that we have, Fightful.com, it's a combat sports pro wrestling crossover site. We cover pro wrestling, MMA, and boxing, and people can divide up those if they don't like any of the three. But we're looking at new different things to do because we want to try to do things differently, and we don't want to like make a bunch of little stories that people don't want to click on. We put those in like fight size updates, and we had kind of stepped over into the video realm, and I was like, you know what? Who better to work with than what I consider the best channel in that scope, and you guys.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. And now I do have a quick question. Did you notice on your Twitter the other night people tweeting you hashtag PW for life? Did you see that?
I must have missed it. I get a lot of tweets, man.
That's okay. We get it. You're popular, man. But
come on now.
I had our entire chat try to tweet you that, and I think I had 4 people successfully do it. So that's convenient. But yeah, so Sean, you already kind of talked about Fightful. So how long have you been doing these kinds of stuff?
Like covering wrestling in general or Fightful?
Both.
Why not both?
I think the first time that I covered pro wrestling was probably around December of 2009. I worked for Bill Apter at One Wrestling, and really, honestly, that was kind of the end game. I wanted to work for Bill Apter because I grew up reading his writing everywhere. So I was like, you know what, I would like to do some stuff with him. And then later on, when some injuries mounted up, when I was doing some wrestling and MMA, I was like, okay, maybe I should try to make a go of this, and made a career of it, and ended up making up my full-time gig. So I love it. And is there anything more fun than doing this?
Not at all.
I'll wager an argument. You sound like you have a lot of fun in some commentary.
Yeah.
For an MMA match.
Oh man, it's funny, that clip, the one you're talking about, the Maho clip, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm talking about the Maho clip.
So that guy, when I would do some pro wrestling and MMA commentary for places too, and there would be those guys that you run into backstage at amateur MMA events that take themselves way too seriously. And I'd be like, hey man, what's your name? What kind of stuff you into? Like, feed me some information that I can use on commentary. And this guy was just like, no, I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone. And I was like, all right, Shamrock, let's calm it down a little bit. And he wouldn't tell me his name. And on that night, we didn't have the ring announcer's feed going into our headset. And his name was Mahoe. And I was like, all right, man, your name's Maho tonight. And that came across on the broadcast, and he ended up loving it. But man, that night there was a picture of me that ended up being my profile picture, and my eventual boss saw that, and he was like, "Oh, he does commentary too. I'll give him a shot." And I ended up at Fightful.
Well, there you go. And so that's just the way to get in the business. Just find someone with a good name, get a good pun going, and you're in the business.
Yeah, just try to make something go viral, and don't rely on hard work. Don't do that. Just do something that might piss somebody off or might make somebody laugh. One or the other.
That's Nick's realm right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Nick,
the entire segment of the hot take that I was just like, this is either going to piss everyone off or make 2 guys extremely happy.
Oh, no. Nick made a lot of people mad when he said at times The Miz could be better than AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah.
I've been getting heat lately because I've said that waffles are better than pancakes. And
Thank you. So you're
I
a normal
stand-
functioning human. I
I
appreciate
stand
it.
by that.
Well, did you see WWE is coming out with a WWE Championship belt, like the middle plate of the belt, waffle iron?
It's smart. They should do that, and I hope New Day pivots to waffles because I've been getting a lot of waffle hate lately, and I think it's going to work with a lot of Canadians. And Canadians, I guess, crepes and pancakes are a way of life up there.
Gotcha.
It skewed a poll that we did, and the founder of Fightful.com kind of busted my balls, and he did like a big elaborate intro about how much better pancakes were than waffles today. I'm not behind that. You might not have a Fightful to work with anymore if this waffle pancake debate keeps going.
Well, good thing Canadians aren't real people technically.
That's
Wow.
true. They got the flappy little heads.
Exactly. That's true. So we do have a bunch of stuff that we want to talk about. And Sean, we kind of want to get your takes on this. I'm sure you've heard that the Louisiana bans the pile driver and blood. And can you have an Undertaker match without a tombstone? You can have a Young Bucks match without a Meltzer driver. That's just a glorified tombstone. Oh, they would find a way to put a flip into a tombstone. Only them. But can you have a wrestling match with the Undertaker without the tombstone?
So here's the thing about the Louisiana deal. Most of these states don't have athletic commissions that are regulating and things like my state does, Kentucky. But you have to wonder in situations like this, how much do the people that actually run these regulatory commissions know about pro wrestling? Because in our case, they don't know anything. They don't know a damn thing. So there may literally be a situation where they have no idea that a tombstone pile driver is actually a pile driver. They may be speaking in the most literal sense of the word that the traditional pile driver is.
Right.
I'm sure myself or the person who originally ran the story will reach out and we'll try to find out information about that. But that one would be rough, especially if it's going to be Undertaker and John Cena. That's going towards a tombstone at some point.
Exactly.
There's no way it's going to be omitted. The blood thing, like, you going to tell Brock Lesnar he can't bleed? Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, that dude gets red as a tomato and then just decides that his skin is going to be paper thin.
Yeah, and out here, they wouldn't run TV in Kentucky forever, for years.
Yeah.
Like, I think from 2010 till last year, because there was a rule that if you bled, they had to stop the match. They had to administer care. And WWE was like, we can't do that on a live program. We can't do that. And the two major markets here are Lexington and Louisville. So they were just like, okay, instead we'll go to Huntington, we'll go to Cincinnati, and we'll go to Indianapolis and not miss out on anything. So I would imagine WWE would try to at least politic their way into maybe preventing cease to the match if there's incidental blood at the very least.
Right. That's
because
what
if they foresaw that, I don't know that they would have went there.
Oh, that's for sure. And that's what Nick was saying. Probably no more WrestleMania in Louisiana.
They give WWE a lot of money for that too.
Yeah.
WWE loves going to New Orleans, and New Orleans loves having WWE, but ultimately regulation and using an athletic commission for pro wrestling, it's a money grab. They want the money from the licenses. That's it. They want that $25 a pop for those hundreds of wrestlers who are going to be down there WrestleMania weekend, and they'll get it.
Yep.
Good for them.
Because I know I was reading one thing saying that if they were to violate the pile driver or blood ban, that it could be upwards of like a $50,000 fine on the promotion.
Yeah, depending on what is kind of instituted there and what guidelines they make.
Right.
And they did the thing where people have to have blood testing before they go in, which that's even a little extreme for out here. Usually it's just a physical and a license and stuff like that. But, they don't want a bunch of people getting hepatitis, and I understand that. But there's blood testing that's required in Kentucky too, but the promotion can have it done. Like WWE has blood testing done anyway, so they don't care.
Right.
I don't know. I always felt like the Louisiana, especially kind of the territories surrounding, were always big wrestling territories. Yeah. So I find it kind of shocking that they would ban something like that. I guess just times have changed, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky always was too, but now like this man, this area is so bare. And if you've ever listened to a Jim Cornette show, you know how he feels about that, the Ian Rotten IWA Mid-South thing. It did kind of mess things up out here. And I don't know what Louisiana's deal is. I was genuinely surprised that they would try to institute that, because it's such a 60s, 70s thing to do. And people as far back as Vern Gagne were going to athletic commissions and saying, hey, we are entertainment. We are not sport. So you need to kind of let us go the path of theater here and stop trying to regulate us, because it was the athletic commissions wanting money and the promotions not wanting to give them money.
Yeah, I guess that's one side I never saw, that it's they don't technically consider sport. It's considered, entertainment. So I guess that's where that kind of leaves out. So, I mean, I see a lot of people in the chat here saying, oh, they could use the Hell's Gate. I mean, you can't have a match that involves the Undertaker, especially if it's supposed to be his last match and not pull out a tombstone. That's like Cena having his last match and not doing the AA.
Blasphemy.
It's just weird. Now, guest student said something here. He says, the big dog, sure.
Oh, man.
Now, there is something involving the big dog.
Roman
that
Reigns.
I find to be complete and utter bullshit.
Yikes.
And Tim completely says otherwise. He thinks, oh, man, we'll see what happens. Well, I think we're never going to see what happens, because nothing's going to happen.
I think this whole Johnny Bravo, Richard Rodriguez stuff, I don't know what to really think of it. They say they got all this information on Roman Reigns, and then Bravo goes and comments on one of our videos, and he says...
We ran a story on that today, actually.
Right, he says, oh, there's actually 15 past and present wrestlers that have been clients of Rodriguez. But the only name they're putting out there is Roman Reigns.
So let me tell you the number one reason I don't trust this guy. The only John Bravo that can be trusted is Johnny Bravo. That's the only one that can be trusted. That you can't trust some guy named John. Why doesn't he want to use his full name? It's all fake. My other favorite argument is we had put that tweet up of him commenting, and everyone's number one go-to response was, "Oh, it's totally fake. He didn't spell Reigns right." Like, I mean, I guess if that's how you want to see it, but I mean, Sean, what are your thoughts on this?
Funnily enough, when I reached out to WWE for comment on this several weeks ago, they called the guy Robert Rodriguez instead of Richard Rodriguez, and I was like, well, that's how little they know about this guy.
Right.
Okay, so I saw one of the substances, which is testosterone. That would up your T to E ratio, but their ratios for failure for something like that are so high that you'd have to be tested right after you took it, and it'd have to be like an obscene amount. Like their ratios to pop for like a T to E, I think is obscene. I'm pretty sure Ryback's talked about it in the past. I'm not sure of the other substance, but I know there were two. But I'm sitting here wondering, okay, first off, John Bravo's production values, A+, my man. Good job. Looks like a movie every time. Why is this being sustained over multiple weeks? Like, that's fishy to me.
Right. His whole thing is, like, when they posted the last video on Sunday, he said, we're going to have more on Roman Reigns, but I'm trying to verify the information I have. And then he posted a thing saying that he's at a GNC filming content for the Roman Reigns video.
And he said that he's had this computer for like, what, 9-10 months? Films himself like taking it out of a package and all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, man, a lot of this doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it couldn't be true or anything, but mother of God, man, the people that he's going after, whether it be Rodriguez or John Bravo, like if WWE takes it upon themselves to sue him for this and he doesn't have real info, man, he's going to be messed up. Like right now, Colt Cabana's not even technically being sued by WWE. He's being sued by their doctor, and they're trying to really go after him because of the CM Punk thing.
Right.
Now this is a guy targeting their main guy, trying to possibly defame him, possibly just expose him. Oh man, that could be messy. It's going to be messy for somebody, either John Bravo and Richard Rodriguez, or it's going to be messy for Roman Reigns.
Now here's my one question on this. If this is to be true, Rodriguez was arrested, what was it, last February? So this would have had to have been like prior 2017. If they didn't have like a failed drug test for any of the stuff that they said that Roman was taking from them, could Roman get in real serious trouble with the WWE since there was no failed drug test on these said substances?
Yeah, they could, because they had the signature pharmacy scandal about like 10, 11 years ago where they popped just all kinds of people.
Gotcha.
Everybody was getting suspended
Right.
then. Like all over the place, no failed drug tests, anything like that. And I mean, they even had a situation where Billy Gunn didn't fail a drug test from them. He went out and did an independent weightlifting competition separate, and he got fired because of it. And yeah, I mean, even back then, Mike Bucci, who was Nova, and Simon Dean, he worked in the office and he got fired for like for I think a drug or the signature pharmacy scandal, I believe, or something of the sort. Man, there's all kinds of ways that they can find to either get around it, or I mean, look at Brock Lesnar. He failed a series of drug tests and wasn't suspended because he was considered part-time.
I don't know, man.
It's really at their discretion, ultimately.
It is, and I mean, having Roman be such a big, popular type guy, I mean, in the eyes of the WWE guys, in the eyes of Vince, I mean, could we see a little bit of leniency towards Reigns? Could we see, an entire policy change just for him?
Given the situation, and I don't know what Richard Rodriguez's angle is here. I know they're doing a documentary or something. Is he trying to cut a deal? If he's trying to cut a deal, I don't know why he's doing it on YouTube, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. But
the thing he keeps saying is we're going to eventually put out a full documentary film on this, and our goal is to tell a story about the issues with I guess he said, the steroids use, not trying to out people and get them in trouble. But that's what he's doing with these miniseries.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
But we'll out people regardless.
I mean, like, are any of us questioning that Mark Wahlberg was on some stuff during Pain and Gain, or The Rock for that matter?
Oh,
no.
Lord.
Like, it's a movie. Am I glad that pro wrestling has been cleaned up? Yeah, man. I like not having guys' hearts explode at 38 years old. And I went back and I did like alternate commentary on the 2005 Royal Rumble, and people's traps are popping out of their ears.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, good God, guys, like, how is that sustainable? And I don't think it's a coincidence that since PEDs, I'm not going to say have went away, but the steroid use in wrestling has severely declined, that the in-ring performance has, like, raised up big time. Like, you don't see a lot of lumbering guys like that to that degree.
Right.
Just like Luther Reigns back in the day. Like, what was he doing? I can't name 3 moves the guy did. Right. I don't know why he was there. But they had a million guys like that. That's what they wanted.
Oh, yeah. That whole Survivor Series team with Brock Lesnar, Big Show, Luther Reigns, Mark Jindrak, just these big jacked guys.
And Mark Jindrak, he found out the formula, dude. He went to Mexico and became a soap star.
Oh, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to watch and sit like one of those Spanish soap operas and just been like, what the fuck is happening here?
On accident, I did once. It was called
All
Lucha
right, so
Underground.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God. I'm not a big fan of Lucha Underground either.
No, I like Lucha Underground just fine.
I don't know, man. Something about Lucha Underground just feels like, man, this takes the whole aspect of pro wrestling isn't the realest thing and just, like, throws it out the window. I don't know, man.
I mean, we're in. I wrote a feature tonight that's going to go up sometime this week. WWE is battling the golden age of TV. I don't think TV has ever been better, and they're countering it with a lot of wrestling because, I mean, I don't know if you can compete with some of the storylines that you see on like Ozark and Breaking Bad and stuff like that. That's tough, man. And Lucha Underground tried. They had me for the first season, but after that, tuned out.
It took me 6 months to realize that Ricochet was Prince Puma.
Really?
Yeah, it took me that long. I was like, man, I find it really weird that these guys have almost the exact same tattoo in the same exact spot of their body.
A fellow Kentuckian in Prince Puma. Ricochet.
See, here's what I don't understand is you look at that, like, clearly this is the same guy. But you look at, like, Razor and Akam, and you think, oh, these guys are fucking twins. They're from 2 different countries.
Oh, yeah.
That makes no sense.
I watched, I can't remember which one it was, but one of them fought in Bellator and he lost, but I thought he was going to be an okay MMA fighter, and then he stepped over into pro wrestling, and obviously that has worked out for him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, obviously. So I did see Derek Bocek in here in the chat mention that he wants us to take calls. Sean, do you guys, like, when you do your shows live, do you guys oftenly take calls from your audience?
We usually take comments and stuff because if we had a screener, he would take calls because
we don't have a screener. We have
Oh,
Tim.
no.
well,
we just let him go, and
then
it
you
gets
have
interesting.
then you have balls is what you have because
We've
that can
had
go
some
great
nice
or it can go awry.
We've had some nice people. The worst one, or I'd say the worst, but it's really just the funniest, was this dude calls in and just pretends to be Jinder Mahal. But
Oh, wow.
he'll ask legitimate questions about like wrestling or like about an episode of Raw or SmackDown just as Jinder Mahal.
As Jinder Mahal.
It was pretty
So
great.
let's go ahead and take a call right here for
Don't have any at the moment, but if you guys want to
of
call
course
in,
we don't.
number on the screen 559-475-8473.
Alrighty, and let's see. A lot of these people. Razor is from New Zealand. Akam is from India. What?
That is not correct.
No,
No.
can't confirm. Not correct.
That is not
Gonna go-
correct. Razor
Gonna go ahead and
from
take
the
a,
Netherlands.
I'm going to take a hard no there.
No, Razor is from the Netherlands. That I
Right.
know for sure. I'd have to check where Akam's from.
I'm gonna look that up right now. I'm gonna look that up as we let the calls flow in.
What about the Haas division in the tag team ranks that WWE could have eventually?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Sheamus and Cesaro are nice, and Harper and Rowan are nice, but like you've got the Authors of Pain and War Machine just hanging out down there.
Right.
Just like
heavy
ready.
machinery.
Heavy machinery too, yeah. Vince McMahon's gonna take one look at Otis dancing, and he's gonna be like, "Ah, God damn it, pal! I love it." I just know he will.
He's going to get some
I'm not gonna lie,
funkadactyls.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a big fan of heavy machinery. It's too 80s. It's too WCW for me.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of them either. I'm just saying I think Vince McMahon would be a big fan of Otis
hell yeah.
dancing.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm excited and also scared, of course, to see what they're gonna do with War Machine. How they're gonna go
Yeah.
about War Machine. 'Cause,
I thought Sarah Logan was just made to manage them, and they
Yes.
brought her up just bare. Road Dogg publicly lobbied to get this woman on his show because she had a character in the Mae Young Classic. Then when she's brought up, she is ripped of any character that she has. She's not ready in the ring. She's not ready on the mic. And they're still having her work the lion's share of these matches. Meanwhile, you have a team in War Machine or anybody that could just use her as like their manager. She could be a Nikki Crossfoil down there in NXT right now. And just being wasted, characterless. All three of those girls.
I mean, they all do that LARPing Viking stuff anyway, so they could just make that their characters.
That's true. That is very true. I forgot about that.
Yep. So
I wish I could.
you think War Machine could possibly win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic?
I think that'd be cool. I think they are a very, very special team. They are really good.
Because I know tonight on NXT, Regal announced that, because I thought maybe they would do like the finals of the Dusty Classic at TakeOver, but he said that the winners of the Dusty Classic will get the tag team title match at TakeOver.
Nah, do you think they'd really send up that skyrocket that quick? Here's a sad question. Who the fuck are the NXT tag team champions right now?
Undisputed Era.
Oh, God. That's
They're a
sad.
good team. I like them.
They're good. I mean, God. I don't know, man. As
They work
good
the
as they are.
They work the opposite style of so many of those other teams, like
Exactly.
Sanity and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
you got to have the contrasting styles and stuff like that, I think, especially when you have people as young in the business as a Killian Dane and Razor and Akam. If you put them in there with Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, they're going to learn to work.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. That was like this week on SmackDown with, AJ Styles pulled a decent match out of Baron Corbin.
Yeah. My
Hey,
God. If only
not-
could pull a decent promo out of him.
Leave my favorite wrestler alone. Baron Corbin is fine. He has a really cool chokeslam knee thing. It looks badass. That's all he needs.
I do like that move. I don't like
So-
that he does the old boss man spot 6 times a night,
yeah.
though.
Oh, you need that spot though.
All
His
right.
deep 6 on AJ Styles was incredible this week. Maybe
Yes.
the best he's ever done.
I genuinely saw that and thought that was just like an animation that someone made in 2K18, but it was absolutely legit deep 6, and I was absolutely outstanding.
If he did that on a snowboard, he would have won a gold medal this week.
Oh, man.
Oh God, I'm trying to picture Baron Corbin on a snowboard. I don't want to picture this.
Top of his head would freeze. He's bald.
All right, let's take a call here.
Let's take a call right here. Corbin alone.
See if it goes. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tim. Hey, Nick.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, I kind of want to touch on what the status is for the Undertaker at WrestleMania?
Go ahead.
I mean, is he gonna? I mean, who is he gonna face, or is he even gonna be there?
It's gonna be it's actually got confirmed by WWE today. It's gonna be Undertaker versus they're bringing back a former legend, James Ellsworth. They're gonna bring him back for a for one more match, and he's gonna be the guy to retire Taker.
Oh man. Well,
Don't listen to me, Tim. What do you got?
I mean, everything we're hearing is Undertaker John Cena 99% gonna happen. I mean,
Ellsworth has that new title though. Maybe Undertaker wants it.
The Intergender Championship.
Yeah. He can defend it against Michelle McCool.
But but the thing is how many more matches do we need to see from him before he loses his legacy? Like how many? Like he's just old. He's older than a bag of rocks. Like we don't need to see Cena versus The Undertaker. The whole point is last year is he took off his gloves at WrestleMania and he should be done. That's just my opinion.
I think WWE. I think he and WWE just wants that one more. He's gonna go out on top. B, he's gonna beat Cena because Cena. I mean, Cena just looks checked out.
Oh yeah, over the last 6 months.
Care. Yeah, he'll go over. He'll beat Cena. That's gonna be it.
I mean, it's
just because he took his glove off and his hat means nothing.
It's the one big match they haven't done yet.
Exactly. These days, I never know what type of John Cena is going to show up. You can have a John Cena who shows up like Monday and makes a Seth Rollins look like $1 million, or you got John Cena who rolls out of the ring during his matches and talks to beach balls and stuff. I mean, you never know what you're going to get these days.
He basically did nothing in that Survivor Series match.
Yeah, I don't know why they brought. Well, I mean, they brought him back for marquee value,
right?
But it's so pointless, really pointless.
Exactly. I mean, and I feel bad in the aspect, if I went back and I told, myself when I first started watching wrestling as a young kid, and I saw The Undertaker, and I would hate to have to tell myself, yeah, you're not going to want to watch him wrestle by the time you turn 18. That's a pretty sad fact. I mean, I love the guy, but I personally, if he didn't have a last match, I'd be perfectly fine. I'd be fine with that run. His last. That dude, I mean, that caller was right. He looks beat up. He looks hurt. He's limping when he's walking. I don't want to see another Undertaker match where it's just going to be a couple minutes of Cena trying to carry Undertaker.
When I spoke to Bruce Pritchard a couple of months ago, he was telling me how good that Undertaker looked since his hip surgery and all that, and how good he's moving, and I'm like, yeah, maybe he's moving okay, but how well can he move in the ring with a new hip?
Right.
I don't even remember the last person I saw wrestle with a new hip.
And it's an Undertaker match, so they're going to want that to go at least 15 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I could always see, but gosh, that would be almost doing him a disservice if somebody makes an open challenge, he shows up, choke slams them, and beats them. But that's like doing a disservice to The Undertaker in any type of last match, I guess. But maybe he doesn't want that lasting image to be him and Roman Reigns struggling to do a tombstone spot either. So I don't know.
Oh, that I watched that in a backyard full of just half of us cared about it, the other half didn't. And I saw that spot and I was like, oh, Undertaker, please stop.
That spot belonged in a backyard.
Oh, fuck yeah, it did.
I mean,
it was rough. It was rough. You got to give it up when you fail 2 or 3 times like that. Just go back to it later because people know. People know, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, he said it. He said it on the WrestleMania 24 special. He's like, I don't want to go out there and just be a shell of what I used to be trying to do this.
Man, it's heartbreaking.
Here's the thing. Okay, Sean, would you be mad if Undertaker didn't wrestle on Mania this year?
No, not at all. I think they have they've got a pretty heavy roster. Well, they might not have a heavy roster. Jason Jordan and Samoa Joe, or who knows if they'll be there, and Dean Ambrose, WWE, the way that they're playing, it might not be there, but no, I wouldn't be upset or anything. There's probably 3 or 4 different women's matches they got to fit on that card that could all be okay, but The Undertaker, what does he have left to prove? I get it. There's never been a high profile, major John Cena Undertaker match.
Exactly.
But I mean, what is it? He doesn't have anything else left to prove.
No, not at all.
He really doesn't. And I mean, I wouldn't be upset. Tim?
Oh, I wouldn't be upset.
I think there's definitely people who want to see him go at least just one more time for a win. But what's more important, keeping that like that guy said, keeping his legacy or wrestling one more time.
When Shawn Michaels refereed the Drew McIntyre Adam Cole title match in, I think it was San Antonio, I saw a clip. He told the crowd when they were chanting one more match, he goes, "You don't want to see that because I can't be the Shawn Michaels that you want, and I wouldn't wrestle if I couldn't be that Shawn Michaels."
They tried. WWE tried real hard to get him for AJ too, because AJ pushed for it really, really hard. And I remember as I was hearing that, I was like, well, maybe that'll be the guy that can bring him out. Maybe that'll be the one. And I think if they couldn't get him out of retirement for Daniel Bryan, I don't think they're getting him out of retirement for anybody. No. And with The Undertaker, it's ultimately up to him, because if he says he can go, WWE will accommodate him and he will wrestle. That's what it all comes down to, is The Undertaker and what he wants to do. If he gets it up his ass, that he can work a match, and him and John Cena can have a great match, then they will have a match. I don't know if it'll be great, but they'll do it.
It'll be a match.
Yeah. I mean, it could end up being great for all I know. I mean, but
it's just one of those things where it's like, is it worth wondering if it's going to be great, or is it worth taking the safe bet and just saying, why don't you not die yet, Undertaker? Why don't you keep being healthy?
I think they'd be in such a better position, but man, they lost Samoa Joe, Jason Jordan, and Dean Ambrose within weeks of each other, and none of those guys are on the Undertaker's level as far as name value, but that adds an incredible amount of depth to that show to have those three guys in some regard, and who knows how many, if any, they'll actually have, because WWE plays – they're getting smart with how they play off injuries, because they looked at Dean Ambrose and they're like, well, he doesn't talk to anybody. He doesn't do social media. He doesn't do interviews. So we'll just say he's out for 9 months, no matter how long he's out.
Right.
And then if he is out that long, well, that's to be expected. But if he comes back much sooner, it's a big surprise. So.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of like the Braun Strowman thing. They said 6 months. He was back in less than 2.
Yeah, they knew what was up. They're getting smart about that. I like it.
Definitely. So, I've been a little torn lately with deciding what is still the better show. Raw,
not me, man.
SmackDown.
Not me, man.
I think after Monday you gotta go with Raw.
I would.
I mean, I think Nick said this yesterday on our SmackDown review. The last 6 months or so, SmackDown's just been going downhill for some reason.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I got a lot of slack for it. People were telling me, "Oh, you're such a downer. Why can't you see the good sides?" Like, it's hard. You can only see so many good sides of shit. You see shit laying on the floor. You don't really think good. The only good thing you can think of, well, at least whoever did that's healthy.
You can roll the turd over, but it's still gonna smell.
Exactly. Like, Tim just walked 40 feet away from his microphone, apparently. It just sounded like he was in a
I don't know. I was reaching over for something. My bad.
But, Sean, you had something to say about that, so I'll let you go ahead and go.
It's just, SmackDown hasn't been a good show to me. There have been, hey, when there are 260 hours of WWE programming on USA Network every year, then you're going to run into good and bad parts of any show. So, I mean, like, to say anything's unanimously good or bad, that's just not always the case. But my God, this show, it's been so lacking any real depth or direction or emotional investment. And okay, so I don't get a lot of things. Why on both of these brands are 5 or 6 people competing for like a title when Shinsuke Nakamura just had to beat 29 people to get a title shot?
Right.
Now I sit here and I watch 4 or 5 guys get a title shot. I'm like, why did Nakamura win the damn match? What's he doing? And where is he?
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, okay, that was my argument. They were so damn smart to not bring Nakamura onto this show the last couple weeks, because you do not want him associated with whatever's happening here, because that's going to make everything that he did in the Royal Rumble just so moot.
It renders it pointless. So it's like they want you to forget about him for right now, but not for too long.
Right.
Not for too long.
Carmella thing. You're forgetting about that. Yeah. Carmella has the women's Money in the Bank. Hey, did you remember that there was once a women's Money in the Bank?
Yeah, there was twice. Women's Money in the Bank.
Twice, yeah.
Current intergender champion James Ellsworth won the first one.
Exactly.
Not mistaken.
But I think like Nick just said, keeping Nakamura off to not hurt him. But on the flip side, they're doing the opposite with Asuka. They're hurting her, having her get beat down by Nia Jax, and now she's got it for some reason. I don't know if it's putting her Royal Rumble win on the line. I guess it's not, but are they basically saying she's challenging for the Raw title?
I can't believe they thought it was a good idea to give her a mic on Monday.
Oh no.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Like, if I worked for New Japan and they handed me a mic and they said, all right, go out there and cut a promo in Japanese, I'd say, do what?
Right.
That ain't happening. Maybe not. Maybe backstage, and maybe we do something in the ring, have me squash somebody, then Nia can come beat me up. That was such a weird thing to do, and I figured they would have learned from when they did that with Nakamura last year, and It didn't go over too well. Like, these two people, especially Asuka and Shinsuke Nakamura, do not need a microphone to convey their emotions or their charisma. They have it. They have it in the way they walk, and the way they act, and the way they kick people's asses. And it's really weird to me. They don't follow the old adage of accentuate the positives and hide the negatives. And I get it. You want to keep Nakamura off this show because you don't want to highlight the fact that he just had to eliminate a bunch of people to get the same opportunity that all these other guys are getting. It's just it's weird. Like, it's such a glaring logic hole to do that.
It's just it's backwards booking, man.
It is. And Road Dogg's the fact that Road Dogg always goes on Twitter and he's like, he'll respond to criticism here and there, but
he blocked me.
Oh, did he?
Him, Kevin, and Ryback all blocked me.
Well, wait until Road Dogg finds out your media. He'll unblock you because he loves to hear what media thinks. But
oh boy, Tim, let's get on that.
he's on record saying that he doesn't think wins and losses matter, and I'm like, okay, from an MMA perspective, Conor McGregor was super over and he got beat by Nate Diaz, but he was already super over. He was already there. Chael Sonnen was super over and he lost a bunch of times. Okay, but he was already over. When these people that aren't already super over lose all the time, probably not going to get over.
Oh,
Maybe unless you come out with a calendar or something and every day is Rusev Day, then you'll get over. But that's a rare exception.
For a couple seconds, let's talk a little bit about Rusev. I think Rusev has always been over just because he's just so funny, and it's hard to take him
on the show. Where's he at?
Right.
That's Sean. That's a damn good question. You have more insiders than we do.
I've asked, and 1 week it was because of the mixed match challenge and all that stuff. But
you can't use that as an excuse because Charlotte was on SmackDown last night and the mixed match challenge.
Yeah, it's so weird. They have it. Here he is on a silver platter, an over guy, over babyface, and boy is that show lacking them right now.
Oh yeah.
You have Nakamura and AJ, but and technically you have Bobby Roode and Randy Orton, but how hot are people going to stay during a Randy Orton or a Bobby Roode match, much less one against each other?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, God, it's just looking at Rusev. I mean, that's probably one of the loudest pops I've heard in a while.
Yeah.
Especially during that weird that fatal 4-way tag team match where they were just that close to winning. And I mean, you could see people just going ballistic. They wanted this so badly. And I mean, the only thing I can think of is it's that Zack Ryder effect from 2010. He got himself over just by being him, and no one wanted that.
It's a good
point.
And
then they used him to get over John Cena. Think about that.
Oh,
John
God.
Cena does not need anyone to be over, but they used Zack Ryder to get over John Cena and to get heat on Kane. That is just the most mind-boggling thing. Kane, who at that point had been around for 15 years as a character. John Cena, who was the biggest character over the last maybe 10, 15 years. And they used Zack Ryder to add heat to that program after he worked really hard and got himself over. And, that's always the thing that they'll tell people is, oh, do something different. Get yourself over. Well, why? Why if that's going to happen?
Yeah.
If they're going to take away your show and bury you.
you know it's bad when on one episode of SmackDown, it was, you know what? No, it was this episode of SmackDown that was right here in my hometown in San Jose. Right before Tim and I go live, it was right before Tim and I go live, and I'm on Instagram, and I click Zack Ryder's Instagram story, and he was at In-N-Out Burger.
Oh yes.
During the show.
Yeah.
During the show, Zack Ryder. I mean, give Zack Ryder a chance in the ring and a live mic. That dude could do some really, really good stuff.
They got over at WrestleMania when nobody thought he was going to win.
And I can tell you why exactly got over. He's just a fan.
Yeah.
He's a fan that can wrestle. I mean, just look at his Instagram with his toy stuff.
Well, I mean, WWE's starting to make that into a series. He's just unboxing random toys now on their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you make money in the internet, right?
Yeah.
That's how you make money in it. Well, one thing I want to talk about for a minute. We've been kind of harping on WWE, talking a little bit trash about WWE, and there's more than WWE out there.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more. So, Sean, what I want to know is, thank you, Joe D, for the $1. He's donated a couple dollars today. So thanks a lot, buddy. Sean, I want to know, what other promotions do you watch, man?
Watch a lot of Ring of Honor, New Japan. I catch Impact when I have to. But
not when I want it. When I have to.
Yeah, when I need to. Like, I'll be doing a post show and stuff for their Redemption pay-per-view and all that. And then, of course, I watch every Bellator and UFC show. But I think New Japan and Ring of Honor are the two hottest right now. And I did watch Evolve when they had an affordable method of doing so. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I think that Ring of Honor's new streaming service is a bit of a game changer because people are going to get to watch their pay-per-views for a reasonable amount of money now.
Right, and then they also said they're gonna live stream house shows.
Yep, that's a big one too because like things happen at their house shows. Like you always hear good matches,
exactly,
funny things and stuff like that. And they have a good commentary team in place with Riccoboni and Colt Cabana. Interviewed both of those guys, and they are just the right team. But yeah, Ring of Honor and New Japan, I think they help out each other so much that, like, collectively, they are the number 2 promotion in the world opposed to either one of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, go ahead, Tim.
I was saying, especially with, like, the Bullet Club stuff, it crosses over both promotions, like, seamlessly.
Yeah, the guys from the Elite are freaking geniuses, too. Cause
yeah, they are.
New Japan, like, owns Bullet Club and stuff, and they realize that. So they created the Elite and have that for their own. They can take that anywhere they want. Yep. And now they're at the point to where they essentially write their own storylines because their internet TV show is now a part of canon in New Japan and Ring of Honor. That is incredible, to the point to where they're going to try to run a 10,000 seat arena, which, to be honest, had they just done that with New Japan in March, they probably could have put 10,000 somewhere in Long Beach based on the ticket sales right now. Sold out before they even announced Mysterio.
Now, Sean, are you A, going to Long Beach, or B, going to attempt to attend All In?
I'll probably try to attempt to go to All In. I am on the other end of the country from Long Beach, so we'll probably send Jeff Hawkins there on behalf of Fightful. But
man, you do got some good Bay Area talent out here.
How far are you all from there?
Well, I don't know how long. I'm 4 hours. What are you, Nick?
Woo! I'm 5 hours.
Well, see, I used to do
I
used to do the drive. Yeah. I used to do the drive every other month. We were Disneyland season pass holders, so we'd go every other month to Disneyland. So I used to do the drive.
I've never been to a Disney. I went to Universal for the first time last year, right after the hurricane, of course.
Oh man!
But the only benefit of the hurricane was it pushed the NXT tapings back one day, and I actually got to attend the NXT tapings as media, and the entire trip became tax deductible.
Oh, nice.
There's that benefit.
Little insider knowledge of that, how fun that can be.
Yeah, I love NXT tapings too. If you want to talk about other promotions, technically NXT. Say if a WWE Raw or SmackDown show comes here in the Lexington, Cincinnati area, I'm probably not going. I'd say about 33% I'll go. If there's an NXT live event within 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours, I'm going. I'm going to go watch it. They're always fun. Unfortunately, the last one I went to was Tommaso Ciampa tearing his ACL 2 days before TakeOver.
So your bad luck is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, I was there sitting second row when Austin Aries busted his orbital bone.
Oh, man, that was nasty looking.
Yeah, and he just gets up and he starts walking off, talking trash to the fans like he's fine, just holding his eye.
Yeah, man, that was gnarly. That was gross.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Like I said, if you need someone to go down on the Long Beach show, I mean, hey, you have our numbers, man.
I'll hit up Access TV PR. For a while, they didn't even know if that was actually going to air on Access.
Right.
As recently as like Wrestle Kingdom, Access was telling me, they're like, we're still negotiating and we don't have a done deal yet. But I'm glad that they made that deal. Wish Access was in more homes, though.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Cuban, man, get it done. Hey, that's a good guy to have on your side if you're New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And I had no
he got in
idea.
a little bit. I mean, Mark Cuban got in a little bit of trouble today.
You know what I wonder? Mark Cuban is like hardcore liberal, but, and he's helping. He wants to help back New Japan.
Right.
Ring of Honor is backed by Sinclair Broadcasting, who are staunch conservatives. I wonder if like there will ever be any conflict of interest there. That's something worth looking into in the future, because if Mark Cuban wants to just outright buy New Japan, the man can. And he's putting a lot of money into the company by running their Wrestle Kingdom a couple days later, because I know that came at a hefty price tag.
Yeah.
And what I liked about that is that I had some buddies. At the time of Wrestle Kingdom, I was in Florida, and I didn't get to watch that main event until 8 a.m. So I had the lucky chance to tell a bunch of buddies out, back here in the Bay, like, yeah, if you guys want to wait and, be normal humans and sleep, they're going to air it like the next day, all the good stuff, all the matches that you want to watch. So I Mark Cuban, like you said, is the guy you want on your side. And I didn't even know he was that big of a wrestling guy.
Yeah, he did a guest GM spot on Raw one time.
Yep.
Got put through a table by Sheamus, I think it was.
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about I thought Jim Ross's commentary was not good on that Access show. In comparison to Don Callis and Kevin Kelly, I thought they did an awesome job. But
here's one thing I feel bad about, man. I don't think Jim Ross should really be doing commentary anymore.
It's rough because, I think that Josh Barnett's quality has declined with him as well, because when he was with Morrow knew all about Josh Barnett and his strengths and weaknesses and stuff. And Josh Barnett was a pretty good commentator. And with Jim Ross, it's just kind of, it's all went down, and it's kind of low energy, and it's a bummer.
See, I've seen people comment on that, saying when Jim Ross does most of the stuff for Access TV, it sounds like he's just going in, doing his lines, and then he's done.
Getting that paycheck.
Yep. So
yeah, and he was big back when my brother was watching it. When I slowly got to be allowed to watch it. It's a shame what's happened, and he's always gonna be great. I love his podcast; it's real fun. All the tours he does.
Yeah.
But I just think with this commentary, and I think even he knows it, he's just starting to get there to where it's like it doesn't sound the same. But you know who does sound the same on commentary, which is kind of surprising to me?
Who?
Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
Jerry Lawler will never change, and as shitty and as corny as it is, God, I love him.
He's had to tone it down a lot, but yeah, he sounds the same. I think New Japan should get the NWA guy, Todd Kenley. He did some Impact stuff for a while and was really good. For some reason, they just stopped using him. But there is a real lack of great commentators.
That's for sure.
In wrestling, there's a guy, Tyler Valls, I think does really good in some indie shows. But other than that, man, there's not a whole lot of them out there.
Oh yeah, and I think that's what, can really sell a match. And I've been thinking about this. I'll give a little peek behind the curtain for our audience. I really wanted to do a top 10 video, or at least a top whatever video, on just like the best ways to save Impact, TNA, Anthem, whatever. And one of my reasonings was just have some
give it a
lobotomy. Step one, yeah. And another thing is just get some commentators in there that sound like they care, that sound like they want to be there. It's gotten a lot better. But that commentary, when a big move happened, it was like, oh, big brain buster. It's like, no, what are you doing? Michael Cole will sell something to you as hokey as he can be. Michael Cole is still a great commentator.
Here's something to listen to on there. So WWE, they asked their commentators sometimes not to call moves. Vic Joseph isn't all the way in on that yet. Like, he'll call moves a lot on 205 Live because Triple H is running that show. But Vince McMahon wants them to say, ooh, and oh, and stuff like that. So that was something that really came into play a couple years ago. But now that maybe the future of Impact isn't so certain, you'll hear Josh Matthews kind of throwing that in on his Impact commentary. And like in my mind, I'm sitting there, I'm like, are you trying to set yourself up, show them that you know their style and all that stuff in case some stuff goes south? Because some of his commentary can be really bad. And they used to have, I thought their team of Mike Tenay and heel Don West was just the funniest team. Don West was the man. For better or for worse, he was excited to be there. He cared about what was out there. And that's what I miss, man. I mean, that's ultimately why all those guys and even me as media, well, we get into it. It's because it's fun.
Right. I mean, Don West, he's the old, HSN QVC guy. He just knows how to sell a product.
Used to swim in baseball cards at like 1 a.m. I love that stuff.
Oh, God. So, yeah, as we begin to wrap up here, I just want to say thank you again to Sean for coming on here. Once again, Sean Ross Sapp. You have 3 names.
I do.
So I feel like
I consciously did that, though, because...
Really? So that was your choice. I talked to him about this. I was like, is this his choice? Or is he just like, or is it just felt more natural to just be like Sean Ross Sapp?
Well, I mean, there are a couple other Sean Sapps out there, and I never went by my middle name until like I started doing this for a living. So I wanted something kind of memorable professionally. And I was like, okay, that's a little more memorable, and like it worked. So
oh yeah.
It's there we go.
Different.
So yeah, we got Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff with Fightful, so I'm real excited to see what comes, what we have in store. A lot of stuff that you guys are going to enjoy. Sean, these lovely people in chat want to know what your Twitter is, man. Where can they find you?
It is at Sean Ross Sapp. That is SeanRossSapp. We have a ton of different Twitter handles, whether it's for wrestling, MMA, or for all of our stories. You can find those easily just by checking out my timeline on Twitter.
Yeah, definitely. And you can always find me on Twitter at PW_Armstrong. You can find our personal PW Twitter at PWUnlimited, Facebook at Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD, right here on YouTube. Tim!
You can find me on Twitter as well at TimmyBuddy. And yeah, it was great having Sean on the show. Really enjoyed getting his side of everything. You know, just a different perspective than just me and Nick.
Oh, yeah.
Well, anytime, guys. I loved it. And, of course, you know, I've liked your all stuff for a while. Actually, I pointed it out to Tim one time that somebody was stealing your all stuff.
That was like a year ago.
Oh.
Hey, I get a random message from this guy that I'd seen on, I'd seen him around. And he was just like, hey, someone's like cloning your YouTube page. You might want to check it out.
Yeah, we had a tech team that would always catch that when people would do that to ours. And I would see your all's videos in our recommendeds all the time. But then I saw one that was obviously one of your videos, but it wasn't from your channel. And I was like, nah, come on now. It's hard enough to make money doing this. Don't need somebody else hurting it.
Oh, I know. And YouTube changed a lot of things today. They cut a lot of people
did they?
out.
What did they change today?
Well, the new rule is you cannot be monetized if you don't have at least 1,000 subscribers and over 400,000, I think it's minutes of watch time.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, so, I mean, our channel's good too, but there was a lot of channels that got cut today from monetization.
Oh, I'm sure. And I understand that, but yikes, that's going to discourage a lot of people from becoming creators because there's no instant financial gain there.
Yeah, because it took me a year and a half, almost 2 years to hit that 400,000 minutes watched.
I was very lucky that I had a built-in audience when I moved to Fightful, and a lot of people followed me, so I had that benefit. But yeah, I guess we'll see where that goes. I mean, as greedy people, hey, that's good for Pro Wrestling Unlimited and Fightful. But I like more creativity and stuff like that. I like people doing new, different stuff. So hopefully that doesn't discourage people.
Exactly.
Yeah, or you could just take what I did, do the fast track, and just randomly hop on with PW.
That's true.
That's how I did it. I one day asked him, I was like, hey, because I had my own podcast at the time. I was like, do you want to hop on mine, do a show? No one fucking watched mine, but it worked out well. And then I started doing the hot takes. We were like, let's do one live. And that turned into these live shows every day.
And today we did hot cakes.
Yeah.
And then I dumped them in the garbage because waffles are better.
Oh, God, yeah. So Sean, are you working for PW? They also spelled Sean SHAWN. Yeah,
Come
Sean's
on, Playboy. What are y'all doing?
Sean's actually Sean's actually our new intern.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I will bring
Thanks
you
a lot,
your
Sean.
waffles after the show.
Gotcha.
absolutely, you're gonna have to fly him out here.
Yes.
Use them Amazon drones.
Oh yeah, we're also at 75K subs pretty soon.
Yes.
So thank you. And with that, you guys, we will see you guys. We may do a stream for predictions for the chamber. We may do it in post. We'll find out. We'll let you guys know. For now, though, good night, guys.
Have a
Love
good
you.
night.